everyone. This is Manny Hishma with the LARP.com crew, and today we are interviewing Chantal Elizabeth. How are you, Chantal?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Perfect. I'm good. Thank you for asking. I am beat from Anamore. It was a fun weekend, but the LARP crew represented. We even did our LARP giveaway, so it was definitely a fun weekend.
Awesome.
So Chantal, today LARP.com is conducting this interview in order to get the true story of LARPers. So we want to hear your true story.
Oh dear, it's a long story.
So Chantal, did you have any initial thoughts about LARP and what it meant before attending your first event?
I think for me, I had a pretty good idea, but I was a longtime D&D player before I got dragged into LARP by my theater school friends. So it was, pretty self-explainable when you add the two together for me. I don't think I quite anticipated the costuming level. I think I underestimated that a little bit, but as far as, fighting people with swords and stuff, I think I was pretty on point with that when I was new.
So, fighting with swords, boffer fighting was actually my first LARP too, and I think that the boffer fighting is amazing. It's so fun to go to boffer LARPs. What was your first event?
I played a Nero Toronto game back in 2002. So many, many moons ago. Not quite the dawn of LARP, but definitely different than it is today. Long time.
Yeah, LARPing.
I played a Templar, which is a half fighter, half healer.
Okay. That's cool. So you were everybody's go-to, right?
Sort of, yeah. I mean, the first couple events, obviously, you're new and you do a lot of running and screaming from basically everything. But definitely got settled. Everybody likes a healer.
Yeah, that's for sure. I always look for a healer when I'm down on the ground. In Bleed Out, where's my healer?
Yep.
So for that first Nero event, is there anything you wish you would have known or been better prepared for?
I think I wish I was a little bit better prepared for the campsite. We were definitely roughing it out in the woods, no electrical, no running water. So I was very dehydrated by the end of it all. I think I overdid it a little bit. Well, not overdid it, but my costume was very synthetic and it didn't breathe. So I think just more the physical realities of that LARP event I wish I was better prepared for.
Got it. So hear that, guys? Prepare, prepare, prepare. You want to be comfortable when you're going to a LARP, that's for sure.
Yeah, too much polyester and PVC and not enough water. So I think that would be my feedback for a new person is hydrate, 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 and plan to hydrate.
Hail hydrate, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So what kind of LARP do you most often attend?
That's kind of evolved over the years. It's been many moons. I did a long time of kind of weekend warrior boffer LARPs, Nero style. Still do one now, although I've kind of moved out of the medieval fantasy and into post-apoc, so kind of zombie apocalypse stuff. I just this last couple of years have started getting into larger scale events, kind of, the big deal stuff like Beacon Lean and Outbound Hope. So just starting to get into blockbusters.
Got it.
A little bit of both right now.
Got it. And that's how I started too. I started out doing a small boffer LARP in Jacksonville, Florida called Origin, and then I actually evolved into Dragon Thrones, which is the blockbuster LARP that's held in Philly. Very high fantasy. And I will be going to Outbound Hope next year. I see that shirt and I love it. I'm so excited. It'll be my first time.
Looking forward to meeting you and having you aboard the Dawn.
Let's go.
Very different creature than your typical weekend warrior thing, but I think you'll have a lot of fun.
So in LARP, what roles do you most often like to play?
I tend to play either the Paladin or Druid types. Definitely a balance of healing and fighting. Not so often one without the other. I definitely feel naked without some kind of healing. but also feel naked without some kind of ability to fight. So kind of navigating the best of the both worlds.
Balance is everything, especially in LARP. So, what was the most eventful LARP that you've attended so far, and why?
Oh boy, I'm going to have to say, as a player, Beekaline 2015. I think it gets a big head start because it is a full week-long event, and it was the first time I had ever done a 7-day LARP event. It also has about 3,000 people that come, so it was just immense. There was a lot going on, both fighting-wise and getting to know the world-wise. But I went with a group called the Ordo Survey Through the Voyage North, and we had about 40 people in our group from all over the world. So people from Australia, people from the US, people from Canada, and just I think the scope of the event and the diversity of the group that we got to come with and being in it and immersed in it for an entire week was probably, the farthest down the rabbit hole that I've gone in a single LARP event.
Got it. Yeah, I've never done a week LARP so far, but it does sound like that it would be pretty cool.
Oh boy.
So, how has LARP positively affected your life?
That one is a little bit trickier to answer without making it sound like we've kind of drunk the gamer Kool-Aid over here. I think for a lot of people, myself included, LARP gives you the opportunity to try on personality traits that you might not be as comfortable with in your real life. So, like, for example, I'm very heavily introverted, very type A, and in LARP I can go on and practice being a leader or practice, rolling charisma, for lack of a better term. I can kind of work on those people skills and work on those leadership skills in an environment where it's safe to do so, and then take what I learned from that and apply it in the real world.
So that's a very good answer. Very good answer. Yeah. So I can agree with you. So prior to LARP, when I first got into it, I thought to myself, I don't think that I'll be able to do some of these things. And then through the 5.5 years that I've been LARPing, I just found that, hey, this was in you all along. You could do this. And like you said, being a leader, pushing yourself to do things that you have never done before. It just goes to show that there's so much that LARP has to offer.
I think it really plays into a larger social experiment that LARP can represent. And of course, it depends on the type of LARP that you go to. But there's a really great TED Talk out on YouTube I would really encourage people to look at. It's by a lady called Jane McGonigal, and it's talking about how gamers save the world and all the different skills and abilities that you practice through games, be it LARP or RPGs or computer games or what have you, that will really help take you and in a greater scale, take humanity to the next level, problem solving, leadership, things like that. So people are looking to look at how LARP can impact your life. I would definitely go look into that because it definitely applies.
Interesting. I'll have to check that out. Now,
it's an awesome piece.
From your first event at Nero until now, how has your view of LARP changed over time?
Oh boy. I think LARP itself has changed a lot over time. Definitely the earlier days of my LARPing career, I played it a lot more like a sport, a social sport, but a sport. You kind of want to be that person in the thick of it all who's winning, and constantly in the pursuit of that win. I think over the years, it's definitely morphed for me to be a little bit more collaborative. My outlook of LARP has definitely changed to be more about the story and telling a story rather than necessarily being about that win, especially because some of the best stories are told, when there's loss, when there's that end. Every good story ends, and I think that's something that I've really come to terms with in the 17, 18 years I've been doing this.
Wow, that's a very, very, very good way to put it. I I am out there and I am trying to, either be that tank or be that healer or be that bard that just to make somebody's day. And I like how you said that the best stories are told through loss, because I don't think everybody thinks of it that way. That's a very good way to look at it.
Well, and I think every good story, you read a book, but the book comes to an end. And if that book went on and on and on and on, it wouldn't have as much meaning. And I think that's where kind of LARP comes in, and being able to say, kill off a character, or even go into that unwinnable fight in the name of either someone else's fun or a team goal or something like that, really is what makes the experience a lot more believable and relatable.
Yes, that is true. So are there any upcoming events that you're looking forward to going to?
I play 2 different LARPs right now, one kind of as a player and one as staff. As a player, I'm PCing a LARP called Z World LARP here in Ontario. It's the post-apoc zombie one I was talking about earlier. And they do this really beautiful thing called the Zarpies, where they have their annual awards show in January, where we all get together and rent a hall and do a potluck and kind of celebrate all the achievements on an out-of-game level that we have made through the game throughout the year. So they give out awards for different coolest moments of the players. They celebrate their NPCs for some of the cool stuff that they've brought to the table. And it's a really good way to get the community together and collaborating in the off season to kind of bridge that gap before the spring season starts again. So that's later this month. I'm really looking forward to that because I miss my fam. But other than that, my other big project is Outbound Hope right now, and we're still just getting the ball rolling. So I'm just kind of in general looking forward to being able to work with this incredible team and seeing kind of where we go with it, but not a specific date on that just yet.
I'm definitely excited for Outbound Hope. We'll be coming up from DC, so I'm looking forward to it for sure. Now, this is going to be my last question for you, and this is also one of my favorites. If you could choose the next greatest up-and-coming LARP idea, what would it be and why?
I think the one that's just starting to kind of make whispers, at least in the circles that I hear, is the virtual LARP. So LARPs that integrate a digital element, either so that players that are not on the site can interact with a physical game ongoing via the internet, or just a general LARP that's based online rather than on a physical site. I think it speaks a lot to accessibility. I think it speaks a lot to accessibility both physically for players with disabilities, with real life kind of stuff going on that they can't attend a physical event, but also financially bridging a gap that I think a lot of players are obviously faced with trying to get involved in the latest and greatest things. So I think virtual LARPing is definitely going to be the next.
It sure is. There is a virtual LARP run by my friend Tara and the Geek Initiative called Chariot. It is pretty fun. It's a space adventure, space odyssey. I do think that virtual LARP is going to be kind of a bridge for those who haven't already started LARPing or who haven't, who are kind of on the fence about it and wanting to see how it is before they go to their first event. And also accessibility issues. That is something, virtual LARP is something that will definitely help a lot of people too as well, keep their head in the game. So yeah, that's really, really awesome. I do thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. I look forward to seeing you at Outbound Hope, and everybody, if you haven't already checked out Outbound Hope, please do so. And Chantal, thank you so much. Shout out to you and for taking the time to speak with us. We appreciate you and everything that you do in the LARP community. And check us out, guys, if you haven't already done so, LARP.com and LARPed on Facebook. Thank you so much, Chantal.
Thanks for having me. Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too. Have a great evening.